because they're trying to make it out it's more than it is, as per usual. One thing that I'm really kind of not happy about, I suppose, is basically they're using this event as a means to test air-to-ground missiles. But basically, you know, that's the lure, so to speak. It's your chance to get the first jet that's going to have air-to-ground missiles in it. And I don't think it's a good idea to do that, if I'm completely honest. Especially considering they're not doing it for all the nations, and they're only doing it for one. You know, it's just as bad as all the other events at the end of the day when it comes down to it. That's also why you want it. It's why everyone's going to want it, and it's going to get spammed. I know you don't think it's a good idea. Neither do I. Adding one aircraft like that is going to create a imbalance, obviously, because there's no other aircraft that have got air-to-ground missiles. I say it's going to be imbalanced, but obviously I've not tested it. But the way I see it is that it's going to be an advantage. You've got standoff capability. You know, you're not going to have to do what you normally have to do, which is get in there and get the close range kills on like Gepards and stuff like that. You're going to be able to stand off and shoot them from 2 kilometers away or more. That I was kind of expecting with rank 6 jets. This isn't a rank 6 jet though. It's rank 5. Air-to-ground missiles will probably be very hard to steer first. Yeah, I know it's going to be the same control method, or apparently going to be similar control method to the one on the Fritz X. One that the Germans have, the radio-controlled bomb, sort of. But this is their air-to-ground missiles. I assume they're going to be heat warheads, although I've not gone into any detail on these missiles yet. Then again, what Gaijin give them is, you know, it's going to be different anyway. So I'm not going to hold my breath about it. As far as the other 2 vehicles that are going or getting added in, the Martlet is basically a what's it called? Wildcat Mark 4 with 8 50 cals, I think it is, and less ammo. I should point out. I think it's something like only 240 rounds per gun. And from what I've read, the original Wildcat Mark 3, I think it was, had 450 cals and could fire for about 36 seconds or something like that. But with the Martlet, aka the Wildcat Mark 4, they didn't increase the ammo count but doubled the amount of guns on it. So there's less ammo between more guns, if you understand what I mean. An equivalent fire time is only 20 seconds in comparison. So you've got a lot less in terms of ammunition in certain respects, but more firepower. The Dirt Puma is another one that's getting added in as well. There's a few things I should say about that. Well, first off is it's short barreled, very, very short barreled 75mm gun. I don't know if it's going to have an APAT round, but if it does, it's going to have pathetic pen, because the shot velocity on that thing is going to be terrible. It was designed as an infantry support carriage, kind of similar, but not exactly the same as something like a Stug, i.e. like a short-barreled howitzer type weapon. And I'd expect it to have a very low battle rate, if I'm completely honest, because it's not got a turret either. That mount that's on the Puma is similar to the one with the Pack 75 or Pack 40, is it? I think. But yeah, it's going to end up having heat. If it doesn't have heat and it's just got HE or an AP HE round, it will be really bad. But if it's got heat, it may be able to do some stuff. But it's definitely going to be very low tier, because like I say, it's a infantry gun or assault gun mounted type thing. As far as its capabilities go, similar to the Pumas that have already got in the game, similar levels of armour, and I assume probably a similar crew disposition, at least with regards to the pack version. And yeah, that's about it. So there's 3 new vehicles coming with that. There's a bunch of other stuff as well, but most of it's just stuff like camos and decals that are going to be, you know, made available when you do the task. I am happy that they've gone back to the original kind of style, but they've dropped apparently the sport and fire out. However, this is quite an obvious backpedal as far as, you know, the way that the IS7 event ran. I mean, you can see it. The company, you know, the corporate text that they put in at the start is all there. You know, it says, during the last Operation Summer event, we decided to experiment with new mission requirements which appealed to some. However, there were players that wanted the summer marathon in the usual format. That basically says to me that they had so much of a massive negative outcry with regards to the IS7 event that they went, okay, we've got to do something pretty freaking drastic to get the player base back onto our side, so we'll go back to the old method. And that's pretty much what they've done. They've just gone, right, we'll ditch the, you know, the crappy side of the things, like getting to point 5, for example, and all of the parts things, like every single, like the entire assembly of the vehicle thing has been thrown out the window, and they've gone back to the original format from like last year. That to me says that they've backpedaled. It's not a case that they've taken the feedback into consideration. It's a case that they panicked because they saw the massive amount of negative feedback they had with regards to the IS7 event. That isn't what I would call good corporate strategy, if you know what I mean. And basically they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed because I think of what happened with the IS7 event. The Tiger event prior to that was a test bed for the IS7 event, and the IS7 event was the, you know, the full-blown in-your-face release of that kind of plan. However, and I must stress this, that entire method with the assembly of the vehicle and stuff like that, I wouldn't be surprised if they put that back in again. They'll do it like next year or something like that, or 6 months down the line, and they'll say, oh, we've taken it, you know, all of your feedback into consideration and created this new, you know, method, or whatever you want to call it, and we'll see it again, I'm sure of it. Main reason because the entire point of the IS7 thing was to advertise and promote the marketplace. And looking at it now, if you saw the patch notes from yesterday, I think it was on the 14th, they have now announced that, what's it called, PS4 players and Xbox players can kind of get semi-access to the marketplace in certain respects. Well, not full access, but they can at least open the boxes and get crates and stuff like that. Although, interestingly enough, rather than spend $2.50 for a Gaijin key to open one of these boxes, they just have to spend golden equals on it. They don't have to spend Gaijin coins on it, from what I've read. And coupled with that as well, because of the lack of boxes for the Xbox players and the PS4 players over the last, 6 months or so since they've been put in, Gaijin have now increased the drop rate for them, I assume for the console players. There's no mention of it being specifically for the console players, but it would make sense if it was just for them and not for PC players as well. But yeah, your guess is as good as mine at the end of the day, because Gaijin aren't giving out information freely as per usual. It really does kind of make me laugh with regards to the way that they do things, though. I mean, like this entire thing with you know, the events and stuff like that, they should be welcomed by the community. It shouldn't be a case that they are reviled by the community. You know, they have this really nasty habit of making it so that you've literally got to, you know, work your ass off to get something that at the end of the day is a virtual product and will disappear when the game disappears. I mean, like, you know, IS-7 going for 1,100 Gaijin coins. That was the most it sold for. And when Gaijin goes bankrupt or whatever happens, you know, and the game disappears, that's gone. There is no coming back. Or no comeback. ATGM 12, let's have a quick look. Okay, right. There's a few different warheads available for this. As per usual, Gaijin haven't told us which one we're getting. It just says ATGM 12. Yeah, that's typical of Gaijin right there. It says guided air-to-ground missiles, but it doesn't tell you the exact type of missiles that it uses. The ATGM in question has several different warheads. And that basically means we don't know which one we're getting, because Gaijin haven't told us. One thing that is quite amusing is there is a nuclear variant of that. Don't think we'll get that, if I'm completely honest, but it would be funny if we did. At least for about 5 minutes anyway, before the Russians rage quit. But as far as its capabilities go, from what I can see there's only one variant that's a semi-on piercing warhead. And let me see. Yeah, it doesn't give any information with regards to the warhead. I'd have to look at a specific, or look, you know, do some really digging to try and find information out on that, I guess. But if it's semi-on piercing, then I guess that it wasn't heat, and it was probably armed with some kind of metal or, you know, on piercing cap before the missile. What's it called? Actual warhead, if you understand what I mean. But yeah, as far as its capabilities go, it's really hard to say. Since it's not listed as being a heat weapon, then the penetration on it could be quite low. In comparison to heat warheads, at least anyway. But yeah, it's what I was saying earlier on, as far as the release of this aircraft goes, it's a test. This is what they're doing now, is testing out ATGMs in ground forces and seeing how effective they're going to be, from what I can tell, or at a guess at least anyway. I personally think this is a bad idea, for the simple reason that they're only doing it with one nation, and that is going to lead to a particular level of spam of one particular nation. And it's also a massive coincidence as well, because this is going to be exactly the same battle reign as the XM1. So, you know, no surprises who they're trying to get more money out of with this one. I mean, the entire thing with the IS-7 assembly was just painful, man. It was kind of clever in certain respects from their end, you know, because it was a case that they made you have to really use the marketplace if you wanted to get it quicker than everyone else. And obviously, you know, the whales, as it were just like too happy to lap up on anything that they could get off the marketplace. And you know, it was a case that Gaijin probably made more money from this event in comparison to all the previous ones that they've done, I'd guess. And at the same time, they also got so much resentment from it that it's actually made them realise we've really hurt the community by doing that. It was relatively easy to do, it was just that you had to do like 70 hours worth in 10 days. And people doing full-time jobs, they just can't do that. There's no fucking way. You know, if you're doing a full-time job doing 35 hours a week or whatever it is, or, you know, depending on what kind of hours you're doing. Plus you've got travel time in there as well, rest and relaxation and so on and so forth, and maybe even a social life. There's no way you can do 70 hours in a week. It's just impossible. And they knew that, which is why the marketplace was all keyed up and ready to accept people's money. Well, some people's money, because obviously it isn't available everywhere. And if you read into or look into why it's not available everywhere, you'll probably be surprised or even shocked, sort of, with regards to that, because one of the reasons why the marketplace isn't available in Belgium, for example, or the Netherlands, is because it's classed as gambling. It's so vague as to possibly be, some form of gambling, and in countries like that it's banned possibly, or it's just a case that it's so vague that they decided to ban it just in case it was something dodgy. Because the website itself, the trade website, is terrible. It looks like, I don't know, some 12-year-old with a MacBook did it in about 20 minutes. Doesn't look professional at all. And, you're looking at $1,100 or Gaijin coins to get an i7, or at least someone did pay that much. That's a lot of money for a virtual product. I mean, even like Star Citizen, which probably still holds the record for, the most expensive virtual product available, possibly. I'm honestly not sure. But that, the most expensive tank that they've sold in that game is going for about $100, say, something like that. And you've got an i7 going for $1,100. It's a bit cagey if you ask me. And the entire thing with these prices on the marketplace being what they are, people have suggested, and I really wouldn't be surprised if this is the case, that basically Gaijin use third party names in order to hike up the prices for the products on the marketplace. Plus you've got a player base who are also doing that as well, because they're obviously trying to make some money out of it. And hey pressa, you've got a situation where things that are normally worth 200 golden eagles are selling for £20 or £40 or £50 on the marketplace. It's an incredible amount of profit that Gaijin have been making with regards to this marketplace thing, and it's disgusting, if I'm completely honest, the way that they are trying to promote it as, some form of highway to getting free stuff. That's a joke. Them claiming that, you can use the marketplace for free is a joke. Anyone new to the game will not be able to use that for free. Period. Anyone who's been playing the game for a while, they may be able to, but not necessarily for free. They will have to spend a considerable amount of time in order to farm out things to sell on there before they can then use it for free. But as far as anyone else goes, or any new players, they have to spend a shit ton of money in order to get anything on there. And part of that, like I say, is quite possibly down to Gaijin fixing the prices themselves, which is a very, very dubious business decision, or corporate decision, you call it whatever you want, but that is very, how to phrase it, underhand.